Today on Rappler. The Comelec says it can't give overtime pay to teachers who worked extra hours on barangay election day. A Filipina caregiver in Israel who protected her patient during a Hamas encounter is set to go home. The Philippine Foreign Affairs Department responds to China's intrusion claim. Half of the world's countries are experiencing democratic decline. Rica Peralejo, a pastor's wife, says judging others is the real horror story. And U.S. media say Olivia Rodrigo and Partridge are reportedly dating. The Commission on Elections says it would not be able to provide additional pay to teachers who worked overtime during the 2023 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan polls. Comelec Chairman George Garcia explains teachers who served as electoral board members cannot claim overtime pay as only employees of an agency are entitled to claim. Progressive group Teachers Dignity Coalition wrote to Garcia on Tuesday, October 31, asking the Comelec to provide overtime pay to teachers who served in the elections for more than a day. TDC Chairperson Benja Basa says the Comelec had granted the same request in previous elections. The honoraria for poll workers for the 2023 barangay polls were nearly doubled to as much as 10,000 pesos as the Comelec tapped into its savings. But TDC also reiterates its call to exempt teachers from paying a 20% withholding tax on their honoraria and allowances, resulting in a deduction from their take-home pay. Philippine authorities are set to repatriate a Filipina caregiver who heroically saved her patient from Hamas forces. Members of the Palestinian militant group Hamas intruded on the home of Camille Jasalva's patient, 95-year-old Nitsa Hefetz, on October 7. After hiding from intruders for hours and an eventual confrontation, Jasalva gave Hamas members all the money in her wallet, around 1,500 Israeli new shekel or $375. It was her savings for the vacation back to Philippines she was supposed to go on. Israel Defense Forces eventually rescued the women on the same day and transferred them to a shelter in Jerusalem. The 31-year-old caregiver, who is set to come home soon, says she is determined to return after a 50-day vacation. Jasalva says she made a promise to Hefetz that she would take care of her until she dies. The Philippines has so far repatriated 4 batches of overseas Filipino workers, totaling 119 workers and 4 infants. The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs says it was, quote, China that is intruding into Philippine waters. This days after China's Southern Theater Command claimed a Philippine Navy vessel intruded in waters near Bajo de Masinloc in the West Philippine Sea. In a statement, the DFA says Bajo de Masinloc is, quote, an integral part of the Philippine territory and over which the Philippines has sovereignty and jurisdiction. The shoal is considered a common fishing ground for Filipino, Chinese, and Vietnamese, which means no country should be barring small-scale fishing in the area. The DFA adds the Philippines' maritime patrols in its waters are a legitimate act, adding there is no obligation for the nation to seek the approval of another to navigate the area. In September 2023, China barred Filipino fishermen from entering Bajo de Masinloc by installing floating barriers. Half of the world's countries are suffering democratic decline, ranging from flawed elections to curtailed rights such as freedom of expression and assembly. Intergovernmental watchdog International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance, or IDEA, says 2022 was the 6th consecutive year in which countries with net declines outnumbered those with net advances. IDEA says it's the longest consecutive fall since its records began in 1975. IDEA Secretary General Kevin Casa Zamora says, quote, in short, democracy is still in trouble, stagnant at best, and declining in many places. The think tank says the deterioration of democratic guardrails such as elections, parliaments, and independent courts led to problems in safeguarding the rule of law and holding politicians to account. IDEA says the decline should be viewed in conjunction with the cost of living crisis, climate change, and Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Former actress Rica Peralejo hits back at critics after she and her husband Joseph Bonifacio, a Christian pastor, drew flack for joining a Halloween costume party with their 2 children. Peralejo says on Instagram it is a super red flag when people, quote, cannot respect the way you hear from God. She adds Christians who impose their beliefs against the celebration of Halloween are playing God and are the real horror story. In a reply to a commenter, Peralejo says she would also discourage Halloween parties if it means demonic practices and evil stuff. But if it's a big costume party with treats for kids, then I don't see why not. The couple came as Super Mario and Saitama, while their children came as characters from the TV series Ninjago and the online game Geometry Dash. Some religious leaders caution against Halloween parties, which they see as a way of glorifying the devil. U.S. media reports pop singer Olivia Rodrigo is reportedly dating British actor Louis Partridge. An unnamed source tells outlet The U.S. Sun Olivia flew to London recently to spend time with the Enola Holmes star. The report adds the two celebrities, both aged 20, met through common friends in early 2023 and have been, quote, messaging quite a bit. Photos of Olivia and Louis hanging out together also circulate on social media, further fueling speculations of romance between the two. As of writing, representatives from both celebrities have yet to react to the dating rumors. Louis is best known for starring as Lord Tewkesbury in the hit Netflix films Enola Holmes and Enola Holmes 2. He also starred in the miniseries Pistol. Meantime, Olivia released her sophomore album Guts in September, which carries songs Bad Idea Right and Get Him Back. And that's today's wrap. I'm Ninel Yu. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. Follow us on Rappler's YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok.